Okay, I think that worked. At least it'll work eventually. Oh, and I scooched everything this time. So, like, I'm hoping now comments and the part that's relevant of our Google Doc will all be appropriately visible. Because if I make this smaller, look, we could still see it all. 10 out of 10.
Hi, Nima.
Hello, Arnett
Hello.
Petrichor. All right. So I assume you can hear us, see us, given that you're saying hello. Everything seems good. Presumably. Oh, Riverwalker Productions. Are you new, or is this your second time? Because I vaguely feel like maybe I've seen your name once, or your what are those things called?
Handle?
Names?
That. Yes. Second time. Okay. I thought so. Brilliant. I believe in you, Nemo. Sleep is for people that like sleep, you know? And we have a Miles. Just commenting along. Brilliant. So, did we establish officially? Oh, what went wrong? Okay, hold on one second, people. What happens if I click? Sure. Kicked me on my email. Whatever. It does this every week. Hello, Pavilia. Okay, so are we doing the seed nouns to verbs, or verbs, or something else?
First of all, I do have one point of follow-up that I'd like to address.
Ooh, yes.
So, last time you mentioned, you said, is it Turkish that's the language where you can say a noun twice and then replace the first letter and the second noun with an M?
Yes.
And I, for some reason, was like, no, that's Mongolian. And then I thought about it for like 3 seconds. I was like, wait, no, that's not Mongolian. I don't know why, I forgot. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That is Turkish. There's it's called M reduplication. I guess I just don't come across it very often. But yeah, you can say a noun twice. Like if you say like kitap, which is book, you can say like kitap mitap, which is like books and stuff. So yeah.
Brilliant.
You're correct.
I saw it on Facebook. Weird thing.
There is a version in Khalkha Mongolian and Balochi.
I like it.
I would not be. I know about the vowel alternation one in Mongolian, but I would not be surprised if there were multiple different patterns.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, do we have any votes?
Are you doing like an actual vote, or are you asking us what we want?
I'm asking you both what you want.
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, Hindi is a version.
I feel like it probably is a bit like just so I've got this right. But on one hand, you're like making a verbal paradigm, right? And on the other one is how to make nouns to verbs.
Or vice versa, yeah.
Well, I mean, the nouns, the verbs to nouns, I feel like we've half already done because you've included them basically zero derived in compounds.
That's fair. Okay, good point.
I feel like it would be a little bit too. It would be putting the cart before the horse. Yeah, cart before the horse. I suddenly was imagining like this horse with like this. like a
A
plow or
wheelbarrow.
something.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We were putting the horse before the plow. I mean, that still kind of goes in the back, but
I'm trying to think exactly how plows work though. Are they dragged behind the thing or are they
Yeah.
at the front?
depends what
No.
type of plow.
Okay.
Do you get
If
animals
you
that
like,
push plows?
like the kind of horse would actually drag to plow a field, definitely in the back. If you're talking like a snow plow, it's in the front.
Yeah,
Don't know how
that
that
was
would work.
the kind of image that I had was like this thing out in the front of the animal.
Oh my gosh.
Um, yeah, like I think until you know what exactly your verbs can do, then how exactly you would like turn a noun into one or vice versa doesn't necessarily follow.
Mm-hmm. So
I was going to say that, yeah, my instinct would be to get some idea of how verbs work in the first place before figuring out, nominalization or anything of that sort.
Because you may
okay.
want to nominalize some things that are on the verb in the nominalization as well. Like
Mm.
if you can derive things with verbs that you can't with nouns, you then may want to nominalize your derived verbs rather than vice versa. That may affect how you then do them. If like
Mm.
your derivation only occurs in like the very original stage, you may have to have some sort of deverbal morphology after you add your verbal morphology or whatever.
Mm. Mm.
But also, if we're doing like you said, this is what you did in Takvamir, right? With only really having one inflecting verb, and
If we're actually going with that, yeah.
I feel like it's not that bad an idea, considering Maddie clearly wants like as little to do with verbs in the language as possible.
I mean, we can live our life. I don't know what I know. And
Does
don't
mean
know.
it's liable to be hugely irregular.
That's the difficulty, is that
Mm.
I don't know if doing that would actually like save you very much in
Mm.
terms of like verbal complexity, because you kind of need to figure out, what form is the lexical verb going to occur in, and how things are marked on the auxiliary and all that stuff. So
Mm.
But it does
Mm.
mean you only ever have to do it once, and then you have
once,
your
yeah,
reference.
I do like the idea of something that's either very regular or we could do all the prep work like do it all once and then shenanigans are relatively like intuitive after that as needed to add things.
well,
I
I
will
guess.
say,
Mhm.
having done the nouns, things don't come out very regular. Although we could definitely avoid, like, with because this is like a SOV structure, we can basically be exclusively suffixing, which then means it only really matters whether your verb is one syllable or two. But actually, if there's only one verb, then it would never change. So there might be some like vowels which drop out in some forms but stay in others, especially if there's a lot of schwa or things reducing to schwa before we shove them all together.
Mm.
But that's where my head's at, basically.
Maybe it would be worth, first of all, just considering the types of things that we would want to mark on verbs, because like how complex the verbs are is entirely up to you. Like the verbs could just be like one form if you want them to be. It just depends on how much information you want to be marked on them. So I should probably have the sheet open to where we're actually doing things. Where are we again? That's the yeah.
Yes, I think so. I'm trying to figure out where to stick that. I guess like here.
And when you say here, oh, there we go.
Both of you
Verb.
are showing up for me as anonymous, I guess, because neither of you are editors in the document. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
Here we go.
Right. So, things that can go on verbs.
Everything.
I guess yeah, potentially everything, but the main things: tense. Yeah, minimum is nothing. Maximum is everything.
I love it. Really clarifies things. Nice and tidy.
So there's tense, which in a very, very generalized way of describing it is just when the verb happens. And this is European languages tend to be quite persnickety about tense. They tend to pay quite a lot of attention to defining verbs temporally, but lots of other languages pay much less attention to the time, and pay more attention to aspect, which is what's a nice pithy way of explaining what aspect is?
Is that the one that includes like habitually and stuff like that, or am I thinking something else?
Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
It's something like the temporal complexity of the verb. Very difficult to understand.
Yeah. Well, it's like starting, stopping, continuously, habitually. It's like all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I swear there's like a specific like 2 or 3 word definition that I can't remember at the moment. But
Miles says,
I'm turning to Jesse. Jesse will
Miles
know.
says how the verb flows through time.
But that implies that it's always flowing when there's very much ones that are not flowing. I guess not flowing is a kind of flow in a kind of philosophical sense.
Yeah.
So, like, for example, Navajo has no verb tense. So there's no, I mean, obviously there are ways of expressing it, but you don't do it in the same way as you do in European languages, where you have a specific thing on the verb that says this thing happened in the past, or this thing is happening right now, or this thing will happen in the future. Instead, you've got 11 primary aspects, 22 sub-aspects that all describe the structure of the temporal flow of the verb. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
And then
I am more familiar with aspects. I mean, I'm generally familiar. I did use all of these in a manner of speaking in Awesome Out Loud, so I'm generally familiar with them. I used more aspects than I did tenses because I just had this is happening and this is a thing that is not presently happening, and you have to imply the relations of all that. And I at least had imperative mood.
Yes, that is a mood, and I can't remember what the pithy definition for mood is either, but it's like the...
Ooh. Our seedling has an imprecative mood.
Oh, yes.
I forgot what that even meant.
It's to do with...
We're gonna Google it.
Is it wishing something bad?
The act of invoking evil curses or misfortune upon someone.
Okay. This implies that, like, actually, like, it's probably worth not just considering this. Like, if there is an imprecative mood that, unless it's like a particle,
Mm.
it implies that there would have to be some sort of proto-language level. I it doesn't have to be morphology, I guess.
It
But, like,
could. It could just be like an adverb or an idiophone or something that you just say to like go along with curses. I
yeah.
guess. The Wikipedia page says that Turkish has an imprecative mood, which I don't understand this example. Geberesi, which is apparently may he die like a dog, and they've glossed geber as meaning die like a dog, which I don't know if that's a verb in Turkish, but I would need to look into that. That's very strange.
Miles.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and there is benedictive, so we could always decide that we need the opposite of imprecative or whatever it was, and have benedictive as well, just for the balance.
That's the
I
mood that
feel
you
like
use exclusively when you're talking to someone named Benedict.
Exactly, which is really great given, we're in the middle of the 4th season of Bridgerton right now, so it's very apt.
So, mood, I just looked up a decent definition, and mood is a very squishy category. But it's like not largely, but it includes things like the attitude of the speaker towards what's happening.
And it includes all of the, like, subjunctive imperialis stuff.
Which the subjunctive I always find to be a lot more trouble than it's worth, because the subjunctive is, like, famously, when people are learning the Romance languages, the subjunctive is always like, it's very difficult for learners to learn when it's actually used and what it actually means when it is used.
Okay.
But there are things like the potential, which I use quite often. Something might happen or has the possibility of happening.
I do like that one. That is cool.
Obligative or necessative, which is like something needs to happen. The optative, which is, you wish something to happen, or it would be desirable if something happened. And then you occasionally get the opposite of that, which is the vetative, which is hoping that something doesn't happen. And then you get the timitive, which expresses that you're afraid that the thing is going to happen. So, yeah, basically the point is that mood is very weird and squishy and has lots of different possible ways it can be, directions that it can go in.
Yeah. And now I'm just imagining a mood that is a thing that is something but doesn't want to be that something, and then we could essentially use that on a mountain and call it mountain, but it would mean it's a mountain that doesn't want to be a mountain, good vibe.
The unwilling mountain.
Yeah. Those are all the weird shenanigans that come into my head with it. I don't know.
I feel like that could be the name of one of the areas, the unwilling mountain. Because there is the sense that they've all been, like, forced out of the ground.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. I do think the moods are fun because I think that the moods could be a fun way to name things in slightly ridiculous ways, you know?
So,
But
correct me if I'm misremembering, but for this language, as to Ziria, we had said that the primary way of naming things was going to be compounding, right?
yeah.
Whereas with the verbi ergative, we were aiming for more like names were going to be like verb phrases, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
I feel
just
like-
thinking that in, at least, as it seems to me, with that language, it would be relatively easy. Like if you wanted to say, call a place the unwilling mountain, all you'd have to do is take the copula, conjugate it in the whatever mood that is, and then incorporate the word mountain. So you could get a whole phrase that just means it is a mountain despite not wanting to be.
I like I'm gonna make a note on that
Mhm.
for that language because I feel like that would be very fun. Because then we could do like more weird mood stuff over there. Because if we're
Yeah.
not doing as much verbs
Yeah.
here, I
So
mean,
the point that I was trying to make is that, it might be easier to do, like, it might be easier to use complex modal stuff in naming in this language.
We have a Barry and we have a Mateus.
wow.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We do have a lot of people here. Well, there's 17 people on this stream right now.
Wow.
Why are you all here? Where did you come from? Oh my gosh. Okay, but yes, the mountain. It doesn't want to be a mountain. Now we'll remember. Wow, we're 19. What is happening? Ponapsk? That's true, Mateus. That's a good point. Okay, so if we're gonna do, people are off work. That makes sense.
For
It's a holiday in the States.
is it? Which one?
I just know my kids don't have school. Oh, it's President's Day.
Oh, everyone's favorite holiday.
Yeah. But the kids don't have school. That's why we came back from the mountains today. Because my son doesn't have school today.
For some reason, I have a very distinct memory of when I was younger and the first Percy Jackson movie was coming out. And in the trailer for it, it said, coming this President's Day. And I just remember thinking, I have absolutely no idea when that is. Like
Today.
Yeah, if you told me that President's Day was on August 12th, oh yeah, sure, I'll go with that. It's just one of those holidays that just sort of blends into the background.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's an excuse for I don't know. It's we have a lot of school holidays that aren't really holidays, but we still have the day off because they've sort of been used as like the day that they do teacher stuff. I don't know.
I remember when I got to high school, they started taking them away for some reason. Like a bunch of days that we'd previously had off, they reinstated for some reason.
Yeah, that's true. Excuses to take the day off are valid. Very valid.
How yawn are you, Verbs? On a scale of 1 to 10, how yawn are you? Why are you RN?
Oh yeah. Is Bib very yarn? That's such a fun word.
Very yawnful.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good word. Okay. But so no moods here. Or at least like we don't need to go heavy with moods. I feel like we should go like pretty basic. Like very basic, but do like one fun thing so that I like learn how to do a thing, or learn about it.
One fun thing. While I remember, I don't think this is usually grouped in with mood. I think it's usually considered its own thing, and I don't think you'll necessarily get a lot of mileage out of this if you decide to include it, but I'll just throw it in.
Mm.
Evidentiality. Yes. Are you familiar?
No.
Evidentiality is marking how you know what you're saying is true. So there are some languages, a surprising number of languages, where it is like a requirement of every sentence that you in some way convey how you know what you're saying is true. So like
or of some sentences. Like,
yeah, so
in Quechua, you can say a statement. You can say it if you start off a conversation. You can say a statement, and you don't have to include evidentiality. But as soon as someone asks you a question, you have to.
So yeah, like the most common split is just a split between direct, like first-hand evidence, like you know this is true because you saw it, or you know it through some sort of secondary evidence, like you heard someone else talking about it, or like you were able to piece it together through available evidence or something like that.
I'm just imagining a level of evidentiality that literally just means like my third cousin twice removed.
I mean, there are. I think one of the most complex evidential systems is in the Wakashan languages. There are some that have like 7 or 8 different levels of evidence, and there's one that's like first-hand evidence, like I saw it, and then there's, I can't remember what they call it, but it's like you use it specifically when you saw it, but it was kind of difficult to see, like if it was foggy, like, or if it was like really far away and you had to kind of like squint to see it properly. There's a separate category of evidence for that. And then there's a category of evidence for like, I can't remember what they call it, but it's for like legends, or like, you know, it is said by the elders such and such. So yeah, evidential systems can get pretty crazy.
That's kind of cool. Okay.
And also, I guess the other thing that can be included is subject and or object marking. So, like, a lot of languages have verbs that you need to conjugate to agree with the subject or the object or both, and possibly more arguments on top of that.
Right.
Now, this is mainly a strategy to just make it clear who's doing what to whom. But we already have cases in this language, right? So really, like, that already clarifies a lot of the rules. So it wouldn't be necessary to include subject or object marking. I mean, it's never necessary. Like, there are plenty of languages that don't have subject or object marking and also don't have case. So it would be entirely optional either way. But yeah, that's just another thing that could potentially be marked on the verb.
Okay. So we're mainly compounding. I could see aspect being compounded.
In what sense?
I don't know, like I'm trying to think if we're like naming a place using like some compounding with like a noun or something. Like maybe aspect could be. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I mean, compounding, you can compound verbs. I guess it may be better to say that like specifically nominal compounds were what you were going with for like a lot of stuff.
Okay. So
Especially
maybe not bad.
with like the whole numbers thing as well, right?
Mm.
Like people aren't typically counting like verbs doing verb stuff. You might count instances of something, but at that point it's already, I don't know, somewhat
Okay.
nominalized maybe.
So maybe I need to just not think about it in aspect of being able to use it to name something, or we're just coming up with stuff and maybe it gets used at some point and maybe it doesn't.
Like we were saying before, it's quite possible if we've already said that there's going to be some kind of, I want to say premonitive, but I think that was what I coined for my evidential in Pankashkut to be something that you saw through a vision.
Wow.
Because it made sense with if you have a whole culture of people who start having visions of the future, surely you would have to have some. If you had an evidentiality system, I feel like it would be very useful to specify, like, oh, I've already seen this happen before.
Oh, that's cool. Miles?
Compounding
Has
rules. The compounding rule is that compounding rules. Miles.
Yeah, I don't know.
It does. Compounding is great.
Participle vibes as adjectives?
Yes. But I think that we have more nouny adjectives, don't we?
I think so.
Yeah, at which point you... And considering... It's this whole thing where, like, a bunch of the choices that you made in that very first episode sort of, to me, speak of a very particular structure of things.
Okay.
And so it's a bit difficult to then be like, oh, well, if you modify a noun with a verb, it needs to be in a participle, because I know that you have stuff that doesn't work like that.
Well, you have to help connect the dots because I know nothing or what anything means or how things connect or anything. So I'm just kind of like, you know.
I think my big thing is that I have a reasonably good memory. And so if you bring something up, I'll think, oh, like 2 months ago, we weren't doing it. And it happens with Miles as well, where I'll be like, I'm sure we said something about this. And then like we'll go back a bit and it will be there.
Yeah. I have the memory of a goldfish, so. A goldfish.
We never get the same lot in life.
Just an idea that I don't know how much sense this would make with the structure of the language so far, but just with the discussion of aspect in compounding, etc. So, as you brought up, the habitual aspect, is for things that happen regularly or customarily. There are languages where, in order to form agent nouns, the someone who does a verb, like take a verb like hunt
Sing.
or sing, to sing, and then turn it into singer. The way that you do that is you just put the verb in the habitual aspect. So it literally means like he or she sings a lot, and that's just the word for singer. So to me, that would be more in keeping with the spirit of the verby ergative language. But it's a possibility.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be cool. I don't know if that works, like, I don't know. At the very least, verby ergative.
It's part of like one of the things that you'll learn the more conlangs you make is like if you end up like like when you first start doing stuff, you're like, oh, this is new. I've not heard of this. Let's use it. And, and then you end up kind of just shoving as much stuff as you can into every part of the language. And so if you're saying like, I don't want to worry too much about verbs, and also the structure of the language, if we're keeping it, I think it makes sense to keep it SOV with the cases and stuff.
Yeah.
Like at that point, you don't like the kind of minimum. When I think about Japanese, for example, the minimum you would be able to use is, I think, iku, which is like it's still not uncomplex because you have this u vowel which changes. So like I will not go would be ikanai. But you can't just say ik basically. And it's, if you say it like, it just implies I will go. And so it has like minimum has like some sort of tense plus the semantic meaning. But like that's the least that you can do. Japanese verbs, you can add loads of stuff to them, but it is less than like if you say, well, no, I guess in English, go does imply less, or because you have to shove it into like an auxiliary clause to have like the tense aspect, the tense side. Yeah, that's less confusing. Like the temporal side of the verb isn't there strictly, but like I think Spanish is usually used as the example where it's like if you say like boy, then you have kind of person marking and tense, and sort of there's an implied aspect. Like there are aspectual. The thing, I mean, aspect isn't really marked per se. Like obviously in English, it's not got anything on the end, and like Japanese, you have to put it into a converb form. But I feel like I had a point I was trying to make, and I've lost it in the process of saying this. I guess what I'm interested in is like, what's the minimum you're like that you're interested in putting onto the verbs?
Like, yeah, can verbs just be completely bare? Can you just have a verb like go and just throw it in a sentence and just not put anything on it and it still makes sense? Or will verbs be required to take some kind of marking in order to make sense?
So if we say they don't require anything, then would that mean we have to come up with other ways, like to, like, for example, if they don't have like, I don't know, like a person marking, will we then need to come up with a separate way of having that, or would we just leave that be?
Well, person marking is it really depends how condensed. So have you heard of the terms head marking and is it dependent marking? Yeah, like head marking and dependent marking.
I think so.
So it's kind of like in Spanish, you wouldn't describe it as super head marking, but you can get to sentences like, well, not sentences strictly, but like maybe like danos, da. There's a, I'm trying to remember what the best example is, because there's one where you can end up with like you have your direct object, indirect object, and subject all marked on the same verb, but I can't remember which. Is it dana? Da. Anyway, like you can have there's nothing stopping us having person marking on the verb, but if you have a sentence like I don't know, like I hug you in English would end up being something like I you hug, right? And some languages will say, well, isn't it great that I can do like hug I you, and then it becomes like hugi yo.
Yeah, right.
Right? Whereas in other languages, it's like the I and you have enough, like, I'm trying to think of, like, in English, you doesn't change all that much, but it's the equivalent of, rather than saying like I, he, hug, we're like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say that rather than he, I'm going to say him. And because it's him, we know that, like, we don't have to mark, like, you don't have to say I, him, hug him, or hug I, him. You know?
Yeah.
Such terrible examples, but anyway. I feel like you get the point I'm making.
Yeah. Well, let's just like, I don't know, not do anything. Other than we need to figure out what we're going to do with the one mood we have, if we want to like have there be a concept of moods, or maybe that could turn into something else in this language or something.
So, one fun thing. Does that mean one mood that is fun? Or we have multiple moods among which one of them is fun?
That would anything would that would work.
Okay. So we're prioritizing names, right?
Yeah.
Because this is like a naming language first and foremost.
This is the namiest naming language that we're doing, Maddie, and I think you know that, and you're like holding on.
I know.
It's just the naming language. And I'm like, we're doing case, and you're like, okay.
We're getting there. I'm growing.
I do think that, like, the whole idea of having one verb that inflects encourages compounding, because it means that you can do more with the compounds to change the meaning of the verb overall, if that makes any sense.
I would think so.
Well, can you put Mateus's comment on the screen, because I feel like we need to talk about this.
Oh, just like stretch up a little bit, Jake.
Hello. Now I actually have something to like.
There we go. Perfect.
So for naming languages, nouns probably are more important. It's us trying to bust Maddie out of the naming language cage.
Mm-mm.
Part of the question that we had last week, and I feel like David had very much like a closing statement that was like, if you want to do anything other than names in the language, you're going to have verbs at some point.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah.
That could be cool, Miles. A frustrative. That could be a fun way to change it.
I mean, Tam could still be relevant for nouns if you're such way inclined.
There's David. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
You mean nominal tense?
David's like, that's right. You can put tense aspect to the mood.
Yeah. So is there anything against our whole verbing thing being like some light mood? And that's our whole verbal approach here. Is that like, can we do that? Is that an option?
So, yes, but again, like, it's always worth keeping in mind that, like, all languages are capable of conveying the same information.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no
Mostly.
language.
Mostly.
Mostly. But there's like no language in which there is no way to express the concept, that an action happened, continuously, for example. Like, they may draw the lines in different places,
Mm-hmm.
and, they may pay more attention to certain categories than to others, but you will still need in some way of conveying all of these different senses, whether they occur on the verb or not.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't have anything marked on the verb, we will still need to work out all of these different things. They'll just need to be marked differently in different ways.
Okay.
So it's kind of a pick your poison thing.
I kind of vibe with like all the other things can be separate if that like tracks. Other than maybe I feel like a very, very basic like optional tense marker could be like a simple way to just slap that on the verb maybe. And then just some light mood.
I mean, my other thought is that like how at the point I don't know how seriously we're taking the weird mood that you're like, we're gonna have it. I'm trying to like find it again.
Oh, in the one we had before?
So I feel like we could even turn this into like a tick list and see how we've done.
Okay.
So we definitely have started quite analytic. We have nominative, accusative. We have case and it's fine. Yep. We did that and a whole lot more.
Yeah.
So I feel like with this mood, to me, it implies a much more complex verb unless it's separate.
Okay.
So if you're saying that there is mood on the verb, like, I don't think it implies a huge amount of stuff. But to me, it does suggest a more developed range of moods that
Mm.
may not make a huge amount of sense without other stuff on the verbs. Like when I think about like what a moody language might include, I can only think of Shenya, who I feel like I feel like you might not have interacted with Minnie, but Minnie used to be very much involved in like the Langtime Studios community, and Shenya has like quite a lot of mood stuff going on.
Okay.
But I can't think of one that's like a Nat Lang.
Okay. So could we bring it over but just have it not be specifically a mood and have it become something else or change into something else?
So what comes to my mind is in Nahuatl, there is an optative mood, which is like, may it be that such and such happens. It's like a hoping for or wishing for a certain thing, but it's not marked on the verb. There's just a little particle ma that you just sort of put near the front of the sentence, and that just automatically turns whatever the sentence is into like a wish. So if you had an imprecative particle or something, then if it's not marked on the verb, maybe in some of the descendants it could be marked on the verb, like in the verb ergative daughter, it could fuse onto the verb. And there was another point I was going to bring up, but I can't remember what it was. So carry on.
So what if we kept it as a particle or something? And then it wouldn't necessarily imply us doing tons of other weird mood things, or we could simplify.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up.
Oh.
I wrote down there polarity, because one thing that could be marked, if we're looking for, I don't know if this would qualify as a fun mood, but if negation is marked by a verb mood, so like instead of saying like I did not go, where you've got a separate word not, instead, if the verb has a specific form that means to not do such and such. I did not hear that. If she did,
can you say
Simplify? Does it sort of sound like that? I don't know. Do I not enunciate my P enough for you, David? I don't think I say spimplify. I don't know. But that could be a cool way to do like a light mood thing to negate it. Oh well.
While we're at it, there's also the possibility of doing interrogative marking on the verb. So like to form a yes or no question, you can just conjugate the verb.
That is cool. Okay. Trying to decide what like, because if we do want to do moody stuff with the verb ergative potentially, and we made that note, and then if it seems weird to maybe like just have mood stuff and not have a lot of other stuff, then maybe we keep the one mood we have as a particle and just go super duper basic for this. Or we could like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, a lot of it just does come down to whatever you feel like. Like there's no I want to say there's no wrong answers, but there are definitely some wrong answers. But like,
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what sounds reasonable.
well, I'm definitely getting the impression that you want to go like fairly light.
Yeah. I feel like that would be like a good place to start, you know?
So,
And are we starting with new stuff, or are we starting with stuff that's going to be older, and then we make an evolved version, an evolution of it that is then newer?
Are you talking about like is this for the daughter or the granddaughters?
No, how much of it is in the proto-grammar? Because how this mood works is really bothering me now, because I had forgotten about it.
So like, can we just have the be particles and then it's not attached to the verb and then it keeps it super simple for the seed? Or it's like maybe it wasn't even something that's technically a mood, it was just like a separate concept or something?
I think that could work.
so we would keep the proto-lang as open as possible, so that
Mhm.
each of the different daughter languages could take it in like a completely different direction. Whereas the more stuff that's in the proto-lang, the more the daughter languages will kind of have to work
Mhm.
around what's already there.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then I guess it makes sense then too that things that we like, anything that we would maybe attach to the verb in as desidia might come from things that were like separate or a different way in the proto.
Mhm.
So I'm making some notes. I don't know what's on the screen.
Okay.
So verbs in the
in the
proto
proto.
line are very simple, and their meanings are modified not by affixes, but by a small number of particles, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And are we just kind of whooshing in this particle stuff? Or are the
Yeah.
particles coming from a different, like, for example, like if you were like talking about it in English, you can say, like in African American English, that someone be, and then, well, not just African American English, you get in Irish English as well, but the be plus the present participle, that's what we call it, right?
Mhm.
Like to say that someone be running versus that they are running, like, well, in that way it's not really a particle, it's more of a, well, depends on how you analyze it. But that's the kind of thing I mean, where these things will always come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Are you asking if there's a proto for the proto?
Oh, only like, for example, like if there was like a word for like curse, and now probably a verb. It
Like
could
to
be
curse
either,
something.
right? And so you would basically say that it's licit to be like, you, like, if curse was like, I'm just gonna randomly type letters, so please don't use whatever we get.
Mks.
No,
Whoa.
Maka.
Whoa.
Cas for curse is not good. Anyway, we'll go with it. So, like, if at one point it was like, you curse 4, and I don't remember if we have protoforms for all these things, so I'm not gonna. But we do have 4, I think, don't we?
I don't know.
And now I have. Yeah, 4 is Naba. So be like, at one point you would say Makas Naba, and then it becomes like Maknaba. Like, so you don't have to necessarily do a whole diachrony to be like, well, this is going to be shorter than the source or whatever.
So basically, do we want there to be like an obvious source of where the imprecative particle comes from, or do we want it to just be like a word with no obvious relationship to anything else? Like, do we want it to look like a word that means to curse, or because I don't know why I kind of got stuck on envisioning it as an idiophone, which is a word that I don't know how you define an idiophone, but it's just like a word that just it conveys like a sensory or like a like bang.
But it's one of these things where not all onomatopoeia are idiophones and not all idiophones are onomatopoeia, but there is like overlap.
But there are some languages that have like a very, very large inventory of idiophones, and they make up like a very large. I'm fairly certain in Ossa there is no word for silence, and so they have a specific idiophone that means like the concept of silence, kind of, or for things to be silent. And so instead of saying like it is silent, they would say it does, and then this word that means it's kind of like in English you could say the gun made a loud noise, or you can say the gun went bang, and they both kind of mean the same thing. But the second one is more like bang isn't really like doesn't really fit neatly into any kind of syntactic category. It's just like
I found a noun meaning silence in glossa, but it may well be that there is a idiophone for, like, a lot of them tend to be used with the verb to say.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, rather than like the door slams, you'd say the door says slam slam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them are reduplicated as well. Is part of what distinguishes them as like a category. I mean, I feel like that's true. It may not well be.
Yeah.
No, I think that because in Japanese you have
the Japanese ones are very strongly reduplicated. Like
uja is like, I think uja is like for things to go in lots of different directions. I think.
uja.
I think something like that. Like you look at like a swarm of ants, and you say like, "Oh, the ants are going uja uja." I could be completely misremembering that.
Yeah, swarming or crawling.
I do like the idea of it being an idiophone, though. Like an idea of it being this like sort of side separate weird thing, and then because like if we make it like a verb, right, then it's like less of a separate thing. And I kind of like the idea of that being, or if we end up if it's like, maybe there's more of them or something, but that it being this like weird concept that like kind of gets pulled into a lot of these little like daughter languages in weird ways, and it's like just this like weird thing. I don't know.
Oh, this is one of these things that will have pretty big implications for how things carry on. Because if you're like, oh, we're gonna add a whole class of idiophones to the language, and then you get to the verby ergative, and you're like, oh, we have to have a verb that we use with idiophones, and then
Well, you could say that some of the daughter languages just sort of move away from idiophones, or like they reduce the set. But also having a lot of idiophones could reduce the number of verbs you need, because all you really need is a verb for to say or to go or to do or something like that most idiophones would fall under.
Yeah.
Or you could even have there be two verbs and you use one with idiophones and one with nouns. So you have to say and to do, and like you have a split between which one. I don't feel like that helps at all with making names, but
scientific progress goes boink. Yeah. Yeah. I do like the idea of that, because I feel like we could keep it to help do other verb things, and also like they could just become moods or something else, or just get dropped, or
they could be like common components of like incantations if you wanted to lean into the more magic-y side of things.
There are patterns here, yes. But yeah, I feel like I'm accepting and acknowledging the consequences of my choices that you have laid out before me, Jake.
So the seedling had at least some idiophones.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this is reasonable.
Okay, cool.
I feel like that's the thing you say. I feel like that's the first time you've described agreeing with something is, I think this is reasonable.
Is that not a thing that other people say?
I would never express myself.
Oh.
Okay, so we've decided on that.
I think it's iconic, honestly.
I like it.
I mean,
okay.
I'm happy to be
now
here.
Someone's gonna like find me saying I think that's reasonable in previous Let's Have a River episode, and they'll be like, you said that only Bib says that, and I'll be like, oh, I did, didn't I? Well, I guess it's not true, and then we'll carry on with our lives.
Okay. So
sorry.
It's okay.
I have a proposition.
Ooh, okay.
Well, it's not really a proposition. It's a presentation of two different options, but
okay.
So if we're going with this thing where we'd like negation to be marked on the verb, then there are two ways that can happen.
Okay.
I've already lost. Where are we again?
Did you? Where are you going? Are you going back to the Azazeria verbing section?
Yeah, just on
click on my little icon, or click on. I think my little icon.
Bib can't click on yours because you're not signed in as you.
But I can if I click on the anonymous thing, it takes me straight to it. So that seems to work.
Oh, okay. You can use that. I didn't know if it was possible.
Okay. So verbing.
So it's not allowing me to. There we go. Okay. So polarity. If we're saying that negation is marked on the verb, there are two very broad ways this could happen. One is if you do the thing where there's a negative adverb, so basically a word that means not, and then you've got a verb, and then over time the word for not just kind of sticks to the verb, and then you've got like a little prefix or suffix on the verb, and that's just how you do it. Or alternatively, and honestly, depending on how much or how little we do with verbs, this might not matter very much, but I wanted to just throw it out because it's a thing that sometimes happens. In languages like Finnish, you have a specific verb that means to not do something. So it would be like you would have the word that means to go. Oh, no, don't want to do that. There we go. So you would have to put the verb to go in like a specific form. And then after that, you would put this word that means to not do something. If you see what I mean. So stop that.
Korean
And
also
then-
has this.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So kada is like to go. But to say like one way, like you can say like kayo is like I / like present. It's present tense pronoun go. There's a whole load of stuff that's got squashed with the yo, but anyway. And so like there's one way that you're just like we'll call it I go for now because I think it's the easiest way. But it doesn't mean I go. And then you can be like an kayo, and it's like I don't go. But you can also say kaji anayo. Where kaji is derived from kada, right? So you add this ji ending on, and then the an is derived from the same verb that makes anayo. Or it's more like an adjective, I think, is how it happens. But adjectives in Korean take a lot of the same marking as verbs. And so you have two ways of saying I don't go, but one they swap places effectively.
That's funny.
So that is something. So I don't know of any natlang that does this, but in both Nakashti and in Adun, I did this thing where, because sometimes negation can be difficult in terms of what part of the sentence you're negating. Like if you have something like I promise to go. There are two different ways that you could negate that. You could say, I don't promise to go, or I promise not to go. But those mean two different things, right?
Yeah.
So it can be, honestly, I still don't understand how some highly synthetic languages make these sorts of distinctions. Because in a lot of them, there's only one slot in the verb template for negation. So I don't know how you negate specific components of the verb complex. But the way I did it in Nakashti and Adun is that if you're negating the main verb, then there's a specific negative verb that you use instead, like in Finnish or Korean. But if you're negating some other aspect of the sentence, the negative verb has a little adverb form that you can just sort of shuffle around and put it immediately in front of the specific thing that you're negating. So basically, where I was, the way that thought was leading me was that depending on how much we want to lean into this idea of there's only really one verb, or there's only one like main auxiliary that every sentence has. If we go with the negative verb idea, then like every sentence could have either a positive verb that means, I am doing. It could have a negative verb that means I am not doing, or it could theoretically, again, I don't know off the top of my head of any NatLang that does this, but there could be like a specific interrogative verb that means am I doing?
Yeah, Japanese also marks questions. Oh, and Korean. They both mark questions on the verb itself.
Yeah.
And Turkish does, although I seem to remember at some point I saw a counter argument to that, but I can't remember what the explanation was. But in Turkish, yeah, you do have this word mu that you, if you're asking a question, you put after the verb and then you conjugate to agree to take all of the normal verb morphology. So effectively, it is like an interrogative auxiliary.
Oh, sorry, no. There's not auxiliaries in Korean and Japanese. It's just a tag suffix. Yeah, interrogative auxiliary is an interesting one.
I do like the idea of that, though. I think that would be a fun way to.
I feel like one way that if you did have like verbia adjectives would be like, if you had one that was like is like be correct, then they can quite often end up being effectively like tag questions. Like going is correct.
Yeah.
Which Korean does have a verb like that is used like that. But oh no, it's used more as a tag question, I think. Like you just shove up 맞아요 at the end of but
yeah.
So
we could do like a doing thing, or yes verb, a no verb, and a verb. Yeah. I don't know how to write. I mean, interrogative, I guess, is okay. So how would we like?
Oh, what if this would probably be very sketchy logic? But seeing this like this, and then like, what if the question was of one of these like a not a form that you get in. It's definitely a thing in
I know.
in like Mandarin, yeah. Or it'd be like, to make it a question, you'd be like to go do to go do not do.
To be or not to be? That is the question. Is that what I'm getting from this?
Well, so that's how, well, it's one of the ways that you can form questions in Mandarin. You just say the verb twice, and then you just put a no in front of one of them. Like, if you want to say, are you going? You can say, 你去不去, which is literally you go, not go. And it's kind of like implied, are you going or are you not going?
That is kind of fun. It plays with the like reduplication stuff we have, like that concept of repetition in different ways, meaning things. I do like that. Sold.
I think the thing is that usually if you have this structure, it's because you can use it with like basically any verb, right? Like, so to use it only, maybe if like it glommed down a lot, it would be fine.
Mm.
Like, like, do not do. Anyway, I should stop trying to make it work with the English words because that's not what we have to use.
So is the idea that the interrogative verb would just be the positive and negative verb just stuck together, basically?
Basically.
I'm into it. And we could like squish it a little bit if we want.
Yeah.
Both squishy. But like pretend I spelled that right. There we go. All right. Sold.
And
Also,
is this
obviously, this
also
is
going
shortened.
to act as a copula, or is the copula going to be also separate?
I maybe to kind of keep our options open a little bit, because if there's only one auxiliary, then that's liable to be, well, I mean, it would be doable, but maybe there could be like a very small, like closed set of verbs that, depending on the semantics of the rest of the sentence, you could have one of them be the copula, you could have one of them just be a verb like to do, or to have, or again, in the case of idiophones, to say, maybe, to go. Like, so you'd have like a closed set of light verbs that every sentence would demand.
So do, have, be,
say,
Right.
go.
that sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we'd have a negative. Okay. And then that one would be copula.
This is actually a lot closer to like the Australian verb systems.
Oh.
Where you have essentially what we are calling verbs would become more like coverbs, I think is what they usually get called, rather than converbs, which is very unhelpful. But the idea that you have a coverb that has this semantic meaning, and then it's further refined by like a closed, very small closed class that is usually like I had like a whole bunch of lists of them at one point, but they kind of define the way the action is performed or something. Like quite a lot of them have multiple verbs for to hit involved, but yeah, like I think that this sort of makes sense with that sort of pattern.
Okay.
It's fun.
I think
Yeah,
ones.
I've got examples from Wagon Man, and I can't remember what this one is. I think this was one that was. There's one African language that supposedly does this as well, but I can't remember the name of it, which is a bit awkward. But anyway. So yeah, there's like languages with noticeably small numbers of verbs.
Mm.
I think Grandbank has a feature. Yeah, is there a noticeably small number, i.e., about 100 or less, of verb roots? And like, there's the one in Africa is Dazaga, and they include Tokelau. The Tokelau one, I doubt, if I'm being very honest, because it, unless that they specifically say that, it may just be it's very poorly documented. But like, there's a whole string of them in northern Australia. That's Wild Pretty is one of the more famous ones with this.
I think I had heard of the Walpiri situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
if we like that structure,
mhm.
We could choose some forms.
I'm here for it. If we go with this, then do we need any of this anymore?
I would say keep that around because we still, again, we're still going to need to be able to mark all of that stuff somehow, even if it doesn't
Okay.
show up on the verb.
I'm going to move it up here for now so that I know which parts notes, which parts other stuff. Okay. So, forms.
So I guess
I'm bracing myself for some like. Do you want to like come up with forms, or are you gonna randomly?
if we, yeah, we're going to get something like glurgle splits or something.
I can be reasonable.
You're allowed one R and one L. Max.
Yes, you're limited to one approximate.
I mean, where's our little... Mateus cannot be reasonable.
I feel like your face when you were like, I can be reasonable was iconic and should probably be a Discord sticker.
I don't even know how to do... Well, I know how to make a... Hold on. We're good. Okay, you know what? I will try for you, Jake.
Thank you.
It's 1:28:07. A little bit before that, there was a face. I'll totally remember what that means later. Okay. Ooh, we have a vote for Krork.
Krork is implicit, but only because the R and the L are together.
Yeah. So we can't generate words for Asdozeria. We can only generate words for the proto language. So are we generating these as like verbs in the proto?
And then put them in the lexigy and then show us the modern forms.
Okay.
But if you do that, it will leave all of the R's and L's in. So please consider trimming some of the R's and L's before you get to that.
Yeah,
stage.
something. I would say absolute maximum of 3 consonants.
Okay.
What?
Veul. Like schwipschwap.
Like what?
Schwipschwap. It's a drink. It's like orange cola kind of.
Like Fanta.
I can never remember if, because there's Schwipschwap and there's Mezzo, and one of them is produced by Coca-Cola and the other is produced by Pepsi. But they're basically the same drink. It's just, cola mixed with orange.
These ones seem very reasonable.
It probably just depends on how the generation goes.
I don't know. But like some of these are like chill looking, right?
Some of them.
That one's fun. I don't know how you say this, but
Still.
Geo.
okay.
LT is. I would vote for that.
I quite like liquor.
That's
Okay.
also nice.
This one? These two?
And we have Delphi, the proper size.
I know there was an L here, but I took it out because
Oh,
I've been to Delphi. It's very cool. That being capitalized. Ugh. Okay.
Oakley is cute. Although the consonants being next to each other doesn't help its case.
Where is that? This one?
Yeah, Oakley.
I mean, we
And
could
the
do
one
like
above it, LT is also nice.
Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and Bib likes LT.
Brilliant.
That's
Okay.
nice. A negative vibe to me.
I will say all of the ones up there have a voiceless stop. Two of them being velar, uvular, and one of them being velar. So it probably would help to have that has loads of post-palatal stops.
We had a vote in the chat for it. Klaltged.
Cloudblade.
Evil.
I mean, like,
that still has a uvular stop.
Yeah.
The gut is a uvular stop, Maddie.
okay.
I should have been stricter with us about what the sounds in the first language were.
What about this one?
Imu. Maybe cut the L off. Imu is nice. Imu is the Korean word for maternal aunt.
Oh.
It's also a kind of bird.
Okay.
Horror is okay.
Mateus saying that he loves but and basically just because of Mateus's preponderance for moving consonants further and further back in the
Is this the, which one did you say, Bib?
I like them both too.
This one?
Definitely the latter, the horror, is not great, but it's okay.
Well, we'll see what it ends up as.
We still have the.
Oh God.
That would be very funny as a source for some kind of what was it, benedictive, or like some kind of I'm trying to think of like optative is what I was thinking of.
Optative.
I don't know if the optative in ancient Greek is used for asking for things, but obviously like Spanish has like every time you bring up the subjunctive in Spanish, you have to mention how ojalá works.
Yeah. Okay. Is this enough, or do we need more?
I'd challenge you to like one more that doesn't have a stop in it. Which, to be fair to you, there are like sir.
We could take out an L if we're hating L. Icho.
That's io.
Yo.
Io is fun.
Yo. Which was the L instead of the Y. The J. I did it.
knocking. It's I was then gonna say it's knocking. I don't know. I think it's nice.
Hmm. I do like this one too.
Sapi?
Hmm.
Sure, throw it in.
At least it's not gonna end up sounding very
David hates them.
yeah.
You don't like these, Dave? Oh, these, the ones we have hand selected.
I didn't know how far this whole thing was gonna go. This was why I was suggesting that we do like another language with different sounds, because I wouldn't have done all of
Eh. Okay, so then we have to change them to this thing,
what?
this language.
Oh, as the Zelia, yeah.
Yes. Okay. And I have the new one.
I wish it wasn't quite so cursed. But yeah, at least the stress is shown correctly now.
LT. Oh. What have they done to? Oh God.
Well, all of the voice stops. The voice stops all night into vocalically. And so I like you can you can trace the words on Lexigy, right?
Mm.
Does Astaziria have semi-vowels in the modern language?
It has a yod in some places. I don't think it ever has a W. I think it all ended up as V, and then like I think that this was one of the places where I kept asking Maddie what she wanted, and what she wanted didn't necessarily match what I was hoping for.
But I mean, like these. I don't know. They're kind of cool. Maybe not these two, but
Which one is giving off the most negative energy?
David.
Well,
that's true. That's true. Which one does David hate the most?
I don't think David would have an issue really with any of the like modern forms, really.
I mean, I do think this one is the most. Although it does make me think of Ohi.
As opposed to what?
Ne? Yes and no in Greek. Ohi?
Oh,
Ne?
I didn't know that. Ne I knew.
Hey, Brog? What? I don't know. Where are they seeing that? Am I blind?
It's possibly that it was one of the ones that was randomly generated.
That we got rid of. Yeah. So it gives me like, I don't know. It makes me think of Ohi, so I feel like this is the one that, I don't know, sounds the most like negative to me. Or we could bring back. Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna see what Kai Brol comes out as.
Yeah. QAJBROLG. I mean, honestly.
Cabral is still quite meaty.
For
Yeah.
an auxiliary like this, that is
Yeah.
very chunky.
But we could take like just the back part of it or something.
Well, I think if it was just
Yeah.
Kai, David wouldn't have any issues. But
Yeah.
we could just go with Kai.
This part?
I started getting the file open, and then I saw you were doing it, so I stopped. And now I will get. Yeah, it will just be without the consonants, it becomes kaya, which I think is fun.
Yeah. You copy that over. Okay, roll. Yeah. Okay. Is that what it was? Oh, with the A.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. No. I thought, is the I still there? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if we make this one we are negative, do we just want to like assign random ones?
Well, if we stick with the idea that the interrogative is formed from the... So, is there only one? There's not just one positive verb, is there? Is if we're going with a whole series of like verbs.
It'd be like that, I guess.
Yeah. And then
Which means that they could each have negative forms, potentially even.
Or both have interrogative forms, or I guess they could all.
Well, I guess some of these make to have. There will often be like a verb that's like to lack, i.e. to not have, and it's not super unusual for there to also be negative copulae.
Yeah.
I feel like to have a root that means to not say seems very weird.
It does.
Same with not to go and not to do. Although I could see not to do being some kind of like prohibitive. Or to stop, maybe, but no, it probably is the more that we do positive light verbs, having the negative one be. I mean, you could always repeat the whole positive verb with the not in between.
Yeah.
Although then it's not super verby in how it's behaving.
I mean, I feel like using whichever for the interrogative would be fine, right? Like whichever ones of these plus, which I mean, I feel like I don't know.
Could the interrogative, if we say that the negative auxiliary always comes on the right, which we would expect since it's an SOV language. So to not do something is to do, and then the verb that means to not do something. Then the interrogative in the do not do structure, it would be do and then do again, but now with the negative auxiliary afterwards. So it would be do not. So could that ultimately just get whittled down to just partial reduplication. So the interrogative would look the same as the negative form, except you just like reduplicate the first syllable.
Oh, that would be kind of interesting. So it would be like, and these would all be like that.
Yeah.
But this would be potentially shortened.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
I
I
like
know, I can't remember what language it is, but I know I've seen a language where the irrealis mood is marked purely by reduplication of the first syllable of the verb.
Mm.
So it would end up looking not too different from that.
Mm.
Mm.
I like that. I mean, I think we'll still need the not at the end.
Yes. So we'll still need to pick a negative verb,
Mm.
which we've gone with okay.
Yeah.
So I guess the next one to pick is just like we don't necessarily need to pin down the meaning straight away, but just a sort of standard light verb.
Mhm.
So something like to do.
Mm.
So which of these feels like it means to do?
I do think I like this one.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Doodoo. That's a 9. Boom. Okay.
So then if you want to say, hold on, I'm losing it.
So for kai, it may not even be that unreasonable to just say it's kai kai. And then ogi is from okke. Don't love this, but anyway. It's because of the structure.
Ikeogi?
The becomes stressed, so it sticks around, I think. So yeah, kekeogi.
Ikeogi. It doesn't bother me. I kind of like it.
Could be worse.
Kikeogi?
I guess this is the interrogative. So, but then the negative would be just with ogi, right?
Yeah.
So be
Yogi?
yeah. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. It's the things are getting better, guys. Things are getting better.
Okay.
Geoji.
Oh. Kyoshi.
Wow.
Is that because it's a G instead of a Q?
No, it's because of the stress pattern. So because kai has 2 syllables, now the stress is on the e, which allows the yod to come into contact with the g, which palatalizes it to g, if I'm remembering all the stages correctly.
That's kind of fun.
And it's supposed to be kayogi in the protoform, not kayoki.
Oh, yeah, that should be a Q.
Sorry, no, I got that wrong.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little...
No, I don't think it will palatalize then. No, it's kelgi.
Oh.
It's still keogi.
I mean, that doesn't bother me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Just saying, there's still time for you to make. I will do a quick check, but no,
I mean,
you wouldn't get the contrast.
That'd be too many. Okay.
Yeah. But you could. If you did want to squish it, considering that the O is stressed in this one and not in this one, it could be kakegi versus kekogi versus kegi. Or something like that. Although it's I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if this bothers me, or maybe I don't know enough for it to bother me, but
I don't know how many people will reliably be pronouncing it kill. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind. Like we could.
No, I'd say leave it for now, and we'll see what happens.
Those would be our.
Yep.
For that one.
And this would just be for a verb, one of the light verbs, so like to do or something.
Yeah. I like that. So would you just do that same thing for all of them?
Basically, yeah. Now, to be, well, yeah, we already brought this up. To be is fairly likely to be suppletive in the sense that the positive and negative forms are not necessarily going to be related to each other.
Right. So you go with two separate.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. Imu?
Imu is nice.
That could be to be. To not be.
So now you can say to be or not to be is
Exactly.
Imu. Did we? I can't remember. Did we do disjunct coordination last time? Did we have a word for or?
We didn't get that far.
Which then means that the interrogative would be imu koa.
Imu koa?
Or would we have to?
In terms of the like that would be not be.
Yeah.
But it comes out just as imuhua. It doesn't reduce it at all.
Yeah.
Beyond the outcomes of the modern.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Imuhua.
I would be tempted to reduce that.
Like imua?
Yeah.
Like that.
I want to either get rid of that U or get rid of the H. So like imua. Or just probably imua is just the easiest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
Because it's also the stress vowels of the E and the A, annoyingly, at that point.
What?
Imua.
Imua. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like it. It's kind of fun.
Mhm.
When people say it like that, ooh, but
Yeah. They have
Yeah.
to do with kekeogi.
yeah. Okay. So the other ones that would have separate forms, we were thinking.
To have is,
Hmm.
is pretty likely.
Okay. What if we go with these two? Because I feel like together those might do something more fun, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Did the
So, Lika Ulka. I really should have my IPA keyboard open.
oh. Day says Keikogi sort of looks Korean.
I mean, only in that it has a EO, which it does. It only looks like the romanization of Korean. It doesn't look like the Kikugi.
Mm.
I mean, you could sort of do it.
Yauka? Yauka?
Remember that this is the romanization, so it's Lijal.
Oh. Shauka. Shauka. I mean, it's definitely interesting.
I like it.
And then you could also try an option where these two schwas are reduced, which is more like what you'd expect. It's legalka.
Okay.
Don't know which one you prefer.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Just a J or a G.
Mm.
Kind of like the J better, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's more innovative. I don't know if that's quite the right word, but anyway.
Okay. And then would to go into stay, maybe we keep those like where we use the ogi.
Just going to point this out that alka is almost a phonetic anagram of to lack, which would be the negative form of to have. So
that's kind of fun.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but
I mean, I didn't realize it.
I would say probably best to go with something that doesn't have the. Have we used all of the ones that will end up with Vila? Yeah. So the ones that we've already done, we have Safi and we have Elsie, at least. Which means that you could just attribute one to each of those if you wanted to.
I mean, that works for me. I feel like Safi to go. Let's see to say.
So Safi Safyogi.
Safyogi.
I thought that it sounded so Italian when I was just looking at the nouns, and now we're doing this, and I'm like, oh, that's something.
We've got our own color on it.
Yogi to me
Yeah.
feels like Hungarian, I guess because of the romanization.
If
Oh,
there were
no, I
another
like
round
it.
capitalization, because that the G next to the I so want to read that as Safioji.
Mm. Mm.
Well, who asked for the uvula consonants? It was you, Maddie.
I've done this to us.
So are we going with full reduplication or just the sap?
I think just the first.
Just sap.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's just Sasafyogi, or it'll be Sasafyogi.
Yeah. Mm.
And then it's LT.
LT.
NT. LLT. Oh yeah, LTOG and then LLTOG. Oh, okay.
Mm.
I don't know what you're gonna think.
Okay.
It sounds interesting.
Hello, Chogi.
El Chogi and El Chogi. I mean, part of me wants to say drop the first air, but it's in theory the most stressed vowel.
Yeah. Hello, Chogi. I don't hate it.
I am curious what happens if you say El Tioki. Yeah, it's not great. With full reduplication, it's El Tilchoki.
Yeah, I feel like I like these better.
Yeah.
I mean, you could reduce them a little bit potentially, but
I think the thing you would run into is that to have El Chogi, you can't really reduce the L bit of El Chogi without basically making it the same as the negative.
Yeah, unless also you got rid of was like the second L or something, but I don't even know if that would make any sense at all.
Although you could say that they are not distinct. Like that to say to use the interrogative form is the same as the negative, but with such a small number of variations, it feels unlikely. I'll say.
Yeah.
In Sasafyogi, it's on the first A and the second O. Sasafyogi.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I dig it. I think it's fine.
It's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So look at it. We made a whole table.
A whole table.
And the basis of a verb system.
Ah, look at us go.
And we've added idiophones to the language.
Which is pretty great. Okay, so then.
So basically, at least as I'm envisioning this, and feel free to tell me if I'm missing something or this doesn't make sense. So basically, every verb in this language, like every verb root, would co-occur with one of these verbs. Like it would need to, like there wouldn't be a verb for to fight, for example. Instead, there would be a verb that means like fighting, and then it would have to go with like the verb to do there. You know, so you don't fight, you do fighting.
To fighting. Or to do
Yes.
fighting.
You could extend the meaning of, like, say, could be used with verbs or with things that aren't idiophones, maybe as like a conditional or something.
We could do something. Yeah.
Would you do these in a different color to the top or the same? I think I'll go with a different color.
Cool.
I started working on coloring my tables since David said that I was bad at coloring them. And now I must prove myself in the table making arts.
Okay. Well, David likes our table, even though it's not a wardrobe. Okay. So then we don't need any of
Did he take it
this
for a
anymore.
wardrobe? Oh, we were supposed to build a wardrobe.
Okay, cool. We did it. Or we started it. Because we still have to figure out where these come from, right? For the proto. Oh, I probably should have. Hold on. We're going to keep this.
Where they come from is kind of wrapped up in what they are.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, cool.
Like all of those would be those words and what they mean in the proto line.
Okay.
I would keep your notes with where these things come from, though, just so that you can go back to them.
Like this bit?
Oh, there is a question of what the negative originally meant.
I don't know.
It could just be intrinsically negative, or it could come from something like to fail, or to ignore, or to prohibit.
To miss or to stop.
I made a mistake because in Mandarin, one of the ways that you can negate an imperative to tell someone to not do something is "bie," and you use the character that means to cut. And so I always thought like, oh, that's kind of cool because, you know, to tell someone to not do something, you tell them to cut. Like, you know, like in English, you can say to cut it out. And I always assumed that's where it came from. Turns out that's actually not true. It's actually a contraction of bouillard, which means don't want to, which is a surprisingly common way of negating imperatives in a lot of languages. But even so, you know, something like to cut out or to, you know, remove, that could also be a potential source.
Yeah. I do like fail. That
works.
Cool. All right, so we'll have to note these in the proto at some point. Yes. So then, is next week or is it the week after that that you are not here, Jake?
I will be in Poland next week.
Okay. So do we want to do like the equivalent thing for the verby ergative, or do we want to do other verby ergative stuff next week? Or I don't know. We can always decide later.
I don't know
we
if
still
you'll
have
ever
noun
get.
change stuff to sort out.
Yeah.
That's true. We could just go back to that.
But with the awareness of the effects of your actions.
With an attempt at that, yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay. Okay. Do we have anything else we need to wrap up today, or is that kind of? I feel like we reached a very good stopping point. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So
I like
then,
that.
yeah. Okay. So then next week, Bib will be back. Jake will be having fun times. I've decided they're fun times now, Jake. So you better have fun.
I'm going to be feeling very cold in Poland.
But you have to have fun while feeling very cold.
I'll let you know how much fun I'm having.
Wonderful. Tomorrow's Let's Have a Boba that we have nothing on Wednesday. I really need to just pull up the thing. Laying time Thursdays. Saturday. Oh, Saturday I'm doing a stream with Will on Lands Unknown. I think Will popped in here a bit earlier. Will wanted to talk about dragons because Will's thing also has dragons. So we're just going to chat. I don't really know what we're talking about, but it will involve dragons. I don't know.
That's and happening on Saturdays.
Earlier in the day. Yeah.
I would like to join for the dragon talk, but I unfortunately will be away that day.
Fair. Well, you must also have fun.
I will try.
As decreed. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So then, bye?
I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Bye, people.